What's up, guys? It's the Average Hockey Fan here, and brutal loss last night by the Montreal Canadiens to the Pittsburgh Penguins. A 4-1 loss. It was a story of too little, too late, and getting off to a bad start and a bad performance by a tired-looking Carey Price. As for the numbers, it was 37 shots for Montreal, 38 hits. They did dominate the physical play, but Pittsburgh scored 3 goals on their first 4 shots. After the first 6-7 minutes of the game, Montreal did play a good game. It was an evenly matched game, but giving up 3 goals in the first 7 minutes, you put yourself too far behind. It's a story of too little, too late, and after this, they need more consistency. It's been too much inconsistency since the All-Star break. Excuse me, folks. It's been too much inconsistency since the All-Star break. They're winning 2, they're losing 2, then they'll win 2, then they'll lose 3, and then they'll go to overtime in 1, and they'll lose again. It's ridiculous. I would like to see them put some kind of streak together more than 2 or 3 games. They need it at this time of year. This is not the time of year you can lose. Out of all the teams fighting for wild cards and in the wild card spot, and all the teams around Montreal that realistically have a chance of getting in there, Montreal has 2 more games played or 1 more game played. So they played more games. And they're playing LA next game. They can beat the LA Kings, but immediately after that, they're playing the San Jose Sharks, and that's a tough task in itself. The last 3 games of the season, if I'm not mistaken, are the Winnipeg Jets, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's one hell of a task. So they need to rattle off some wins here now in the next 10 games for sure, because those last 3 games alone could be killers. They could win 8 of the next 10 and then lose 5 or 6. So it's not going to be an easy fight to get in. It's the Habs have the disadvantage right now. Last week they were 1 point up on Carolina, a couple points up on Pittsburgh. There was no games in hand. They had an even amount of games played. Now Carolina has more points. Pittsburgh is tied with them with the game in hand, and Columbus is only 2 points behind them with 2 games in hand. So really, really tight race. 38 hits for the Habs. I'll get back to the numbers now, guys. Sorry about that. 52% face-off percentage, 0 for 3 on the power play, but I will admit the power play did look better tonight. Weber was buzzing all over the ice. Pittsburgh does have shoddy defense. They weren't doing a good job protecting the point. Weber was getting a lot of shots off. He just wasn't hitting the net, and when he did, he hit the post once, and he hit Murray the other 2 times. I must have seen at least 7 Weber solid slap shots that didn't even hit the net. It looked like they went anywhere near the net. Whether they were deflected or not, or he was just off on his shot, he could have had a big impact on his game if he had to land some of those beautiful bombs. He was lining them up. They were right there for him, like laid on a tee for Weber. And usually when Weber has shots laid on a tee for him and there's traffic in front of the net, it either hits somebody or it goes in, but these pucks just weren't even going anywhere near the goal. It was crazy. Their penalty kill was 2 for 3. Pittsburgh power play looked really good. They scored on their very first power play. Their other 2 power plays were very threatening. They had the Habs pinned in their own zone at one point. If it wasn't for Carey Price down the stretch, they really would have been out of this game. It was similar to the New York game. Price had to hold them in there. If it could have got out 3-4-0 for New York early if he didn't make big saves, but unfortunately for Price, he couldn't make the big saves in this game. The Habs came out flat-footed again. Sure, they looked like they were skating all right, but Pittsburgh capitalized on their opportunities. They could see that Carey Price was a tired goalie tonight. They immediately set the tone by scoring 20 seconds in, so it was a brutal loss for the Habs. They can't be losing to teams like this. I was way off my prediction. I predicted a 4-3 win for the Habs in overtime, and I thought it was going to be a playoff-type atmosphere. A few guys would comment on my things. We were talking about the game, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely going to be a playoff-type atmosphere. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a chippy battle. It's going to be greasy goals the whole night. It's going to end up going into overtime. I couldn't have been more off. Pittsburgh immediately got out to the big lead and controlled the whole game pretty much. Whether Montreal fought back or not, Matt Murray was there to stand on his head when he needed to, and he didn't really need to stand on his head a pile of times. Domi had a good breakaway at one point. There was a couple other decent opportunities, but the Habs just weren't getting the shots off they needed. They weren't getting the quality attempts they needed. As for Pittsburgh, they had 37 shots, 25 hits, 47% face-off percentage. Their power play was 1 for 3, and their penalty kill was obviously 3 for 3. They did a good job on their penalty kill of preventing Montreal from scoring. Matt Murray was their best penalty killer because Montreal had a couple of good chances. Not the greatest, but by Montreal standard, the power play looked a lot better. But Pittsburgh was in the right spot at the right time. They blocked the shots. Drouin at one point could have had a wide open net, but they made a good defensive play to get on him so Murray could get across. Crosby, 21 seconds into the game, immediately sets the tone for Pittsburgh and lets the Habs know this is going to be a very rough night. He wins the face-off, sends it back to McCann. McCann passes it to Getzel. Getzel comes in the zone. He telegraphs the pass. You could see it coming. He passes it over to Crosby on the side of the net, and Price was just slow getting across on that. Couldn't get the blocker on it, couldn't get the pad on it. Crosby beats him clean. I was kind of shocked. I was like, I hope this isn't how the night goes, and of course it was. After that, about 2 minutes later, Montreal takes a penalty, 4:38 into the period, and while Pittsburgh's still on the power play, Malkin scores from a slap shot, which was assisted by Crosby and Kessel. Then 8:51 after that, Getzel sticks the dagger in the Habs' heart with a very, very weak shot from the top of the face-off circle. I was not impressed with this goal at all. Crosby wins the face-off, gets it back to Getzel. Getzel gives not a big zip, not a powerful one-timer, just a decent little shot to put it on net, maybe slow things down. I guess he thought Price was probably going to stop it and slow things down again, maybe get a line change. I don't know what they were doing there. But he just put it on net and it trickled past Price. I was shocked it went in. I was disgusted. I thought Price was going to get pulled for sure. I applaud Claude Julien for not pulling him because he did have a strong game afterwards, but he let the team down there and it was just too little, too late. That's the story of this game for me. Scoring the one goal to come back after that and doing nothing else. The Habs have had a lot of fight this year, but this is a game that hopefully they can put behind them because it wasn't a good game by their standards. In the second period, Getzel scores again. Gudbranson, I can't even say his name, Gudbranson, gets the puck, passes it to Crosby. Crosby's coming in the zone, and he passes it to Getzel. Getzel comes in, beautiful wrist shot. There you go. After that, Gallagher with a Gallagher and Deneau are coming in the zone. Deneau comes over, passes it to Gallagher. Gallagher, clean wrist shot, beats Matt Murray. Excuse me, guys. It was a really disgusting game. I did have a long night. I was up watching UFC 235 last night. I was up till about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry for the late recap. It may not be the best recap. I'm not overly excited about this. The future is looking grimmer and grimmer with the Habs. At one point, they were 5-6 points up on the wild card. They were looking like they were comfortably going to get into a playoff spot with the last 15-10 games. We could pretty much depend on them getting in, but it's really not looking like that. They're looking like they may be the odd team out, especially with how Carolina's playing. Carolina has beaten everybody lately. It's crazy. And in the third period, not much happened. The Habs showed a bit of a push. They had a good breakaway chance by Domi. They had a couple shots on net. Pittsburgh, after the first period, had the majority of the shots on net because after they went up 3-0 on the 4 goals, the Habs shut them down. It was 12-4 going in the second period for shots, but after that, Pittsburgh had the majority of the shots on net. And at the very end of the game, I applaud Claude Julien with 4 minutes left for pulling the goalie. But it didn't help him because literally 2 minutes later, McCann comes up the ice, gets it passed to him from Peterson, and Getzel gets an assist on it too. He had a big night tonight, Jake Getzel did. McCann shoots it in a wide open net, empty netter. That's the game, folks. It was not impressive. If you didn't see it, it's nothing to work. Go check it out. A couple players who did look good tonight to me. Christian Folin actually looked pretty good to me for a guy who is a newer player. He made a lot of good plays. He came up the ice. He wasn't scared to carry it in the zone. He made smart passes. The fourth line didn't look bad by no means to me tonight. It was just an all-around bad first 5 minutes, which cost them the rest of the game. Beyond the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game, the Habs played good hockey. It was a decent game. Even though Pittsburgh did have the majority of the shots, the Habs were a physical team. They were trying to fight back. They were doing everything they could to fight back. Julien was pulling out all the stops by pulling that goalie with the last 4 minutes, but it was just, they couldn't. They were just playing too good of a team that was playing shutdown hockey once they went up 3-0. They knew they were in Montreal. They knew Montreal was coming off a back-to-back, even though Pittsburgh was, and they just couldn't do it. It just wasn't going to be one of those comeback nights. I almost knew it, especially with the fourth goal, but I almost knew it after the third goal. Going into the second period, looking at the score, I literally was like, should I even watch the rest of this game? But me, myself, I'll watch anything. If I watched every minute of every game last season, I can handle a loss late in the season this year. I just don't want to see any more. They need to beat LA. That's a winnable game. Whether or not they're going to beat San Jose, that's a tough game. I'd be happy if they even came out of that with a point, because San Jose is one of the better teams in the league. And after that, they're playing a few weaker teams. They're playing Florida. They're playing Buffalo. I believe they're playing Anaheim. They are playing Anaheim. So they're playing some weaker teams that they can beat, and they need to get those wins before they get down to the last 4 or 5 games of the season. Because like I said, the last 3 are Tampa Bay, the Jets, and Toronto. So the Habs cannot afford to lose that. Anyways, guys, sorry for the late recap. I was up watching UFC 235. Tyron Woodley lost his belt. Crazy. Don't know if you guys watch UFC, but Woodley lost his belt. He got dominated every round. Last 50-44. Crazy. John Jones won again. Don't know if you guys watch UFC, but I wasn't missing that for nothing. Didn't pay for it, of course. I watched it afterwards, after it was all done. I know a couple of good sites to watch it on, and everybody puts it on YouTube. It's not hard to find UFC once it's all done, so I had to stay up late to watch the fights I wanted to watch. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe. Thanks for viewing. Feel free to leave a comment. Look out for my next game review for the next game for LA, and pray the Habs win. Put your hands together and say a prayer for the Habs, because we need to see them rattle off 4 or 5. They can't afford to hit a losing slump. They can't beat a slumping team at this point. Carolina's playing too good. Pittsburgh's playing too good. Sure, Columbus is struggling a bit, but look how good their team is. They're bound to get in. Comes down to it, Columbus is a better team than all 3 of those teams I just named. So I would assume Columbus is going to get in. It would be a miracle for them not to get in with the team they got. They're just too good not to get in. So Montreal needs to start winning. It really, in my mind, it's going to come down to Montreal and Carolina. I think Pittsburgh is too good and Columbus is too good. It's going to come down to Montreal and Carolina, and the Habs need to rattle off some wins. Carolina's up a point with the game in hand. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe. Thank you for viewing. Have a great day. Mr. Average Hockey Fan, over and out.